afternoon, viewers around the world, wherever you are. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. And again, it has been a while for the past two break-in due to some illness. That's why we were not on the show. But we can assure you now that we are on top and to kick it up rolling on Wednesday and Friday at this hour. So today again we want to welcome all of our viewers around the world. I am your host for the Community Safety Hours. I'm Assistant Police Commissioner Samuel G. Ford, and the Community Safety Hour is a presentation of issues regarding law enforcement, regarding public safety, regarding peace building, and regarding community policing. So we will be here again discussing issues that is mostly confronting people around the world, not only Liberia. And for today's afternoon show, we're going to be talking about human trafficking. You know, human trafficking is a serious issue around the world, around the globe, not only peculiar to Liberia. You know, it can be prevented, you know, within our respective communities, within our respective home, within our respective countries. And today again, we have two young brilliant students, high school students, who will be here with us, discussing these issues. And to just give you an eye opener, you know, we are from the Community Services section of the Liberia National Police, Press and Public Affairs, and we also conduct training for school students from various high schools around the country. So if you think that you also love your school to be a part of this important initiative so that your student can be showcased, we encourage you to come to our office, write us, and then we can be able to train some of your students, train some of your people that will come again give their own input and ideas with regards to what is unfolding within our communities and within our country. We're going to take this show also to we're going to take the show to we'll be inviting university students also, so that we can be able to bring them also on the show, and then where they will be deliberating issues. So as time goes by, not only those high school students, we have a university student, we have also community leaders, community members, where they will be able to come and give their own input on the discussion. So just stay tuned. Okay, welcome back, and sorry for the distraction in view. So now we're going to now be twisting to our studio guests this afternoon, two young students, high school students, and they are here with us in studio, where they will be giving their views and issues around the issue of human trafficking, the causes and effects, and how it can be prevented. because prevention is better than cure. And these adolescent girls here in studio, they're going to be giving their perspective with regards to the issue of human trafficking in regards to legality, rule of law, and how it can be prevented. So they're going to be introducing themselves. So I'm going to start on my far right. Patlin, can you introduce yourself?
I am student Patlin Kema from the Christ the King Catholic High School, 12th grade.
Welcome to the Liberia National Police Headquarters, Patlin. How do you feel with the LNP headquarters here in studio? How do you?
I feel amazing.
Okay.
I'm actually grateful to be here.
Okay, it's great to be here.
Thank you.
On my far left, I think she's not a stranger second time around. Can you introduce yourself?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everywhere you're watching from. Endurance Times, a graduate of the Christ the King Catholic High School, the current speaker of Children's Voices, and a volunteer of Voice of the Nation.
Great introduction, Endurance Time and Patlin Ma'am. Both are here today in studio. And today we are going to be discussing very important issue that is affecting young people out there, that is affecting women, that is affecting children, that is affecting even men, boys and girls. It's not only at the international level these issues are being caused, also at the domestic level, at the local level. The issue of human trafficking is very, very serious, very severe, and that's the reason why we have come to be able to have this discussion. And we're going to be having some of your inputs to the listening audience. So we would like you to share the podcast, share and then make us some comments. And there will be time for you to have your own input with regards to calls and what have you. So stay tuned, and we wish that you enjoyed the discussion, and we also wish that you also have recommendation and input, which of course will be very important for us. So Patlin, we're going to start with you first. Human trafficking, is a serious concern. It's a global issue. It's a national issue. And it's also a domestic and local issues that is affecting, quote unquote, people worldwide. Young boys, young men, young women, they are all being affected. Students, university students, high school students, people who are yearning for greener pasture have been affected by this madness in society, human trafficking. People will want to understand first from you, how do you understand human trafficking?
Well, in my own perspective,
Speak louder.
Human trafficking is the trading of people illegally through force, fraud, coercion for exploitation, such as labor force, sexual exploitation, or servitude. When I talk about the core exploitation, I mean making people to do things against their will, just to get your own gain. Yeah, that's all the human trafficking is all about.
And you just gave a real synopsis of a package. All of the definition, all of the learning issue that you are labor, coercion, force, illegal, trade for sex, and all kinds of high labor, and all of these things are happening, within different parts of the world, So, in your own understanding, how can children be trafficked even within Liberia, not just abroad?
Children can be trafficked in Liberia through domestic servitude.
Okay.
Yeah, wherein a person will take a child, take them to their house, making them to feel at home at first. Yeah, or in the name of, okay, you're going to go to school, learn, because those are needs. And then at the end of the day, they find themselves working, doing hard labor, things that are not supposed to be done by kids. They will do it at home. and then they will lack education knowledge. They will not be in school.
Will not be in school?
Yeah, they will not interact with people. They will not be with their peers. And those are things that are happening in Liberia.
It happening from the domestic level. So
yes,
when we talk about human trafficking, it's not only having on the, transporting of people from abroad.
Yes.
People in pretend that they want to, help your child or children, and then meanwhile they bring them, from the interior, and then have them being on labor, having them selling on the street and what have you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Street vending.
Street vending, all kinds of stuff. Wow. Endurance. You listen to Pat Lane giving let's say, definition of human trafficking and some of the issues with regards to domestic trafficking within Liberia. So your question would be, who are the most vulnerable people you think that are being trafficked? Who are those most vulnerable people?
Well, it's just simple that people who are mostly targeted by human traffickers are, first is children.
Children, yeah.
Then you have unemployed youth.
Okay.
And then you have people who are not educated or aware of the issue of human trafficking, people who are ignorant to it. So that's the main target of human traffickers. The first they start with children.
Start with the children.
Yeah, because children are easily manipulated. Their minds are not developed. So you can tell them anything and then they will welcome you in. And then we have unemployed youth.
Okay.
So that part for people who are desperate to get jobs, you can come, you send fake opportunities to them, provide links that are not factual, come in the form of a fraud to them, and they're going to believe you because they are desperate for something. They want something. Yeah, and thirdly, people who are not educated about it. You cannot abstain yourself from something you don't know that is dangerous. Okay. So without you knowing that it's dangerous, it's just like knowing your right and your responsibility.
Knowing your rights and your responsibility. And you spoke about the issue of children that are being most vulnerable aspects in terms of being trafficked.
Yeah.
And now we have a very new phenomenon with regards to how people can be used. The social media is one of those instruments, where you have young children, people, adolescent girls and boys, venting for greener pasture, so they go through Facebook pages and lot of fake information or what have you, and being downloaded and what have you. How can you speak to that with regards to information from social media, and what advice do you have for students, young people, kids who are waiting for this kind of opportunity but using the social media in a way, in a manner that is not being very much genuine and can be used to be trafficked?
Yeah. So first of all, the internet is like a marketplace where you sell yourself, you sell your commodities, and then people are to buy it or reject it completely. So this is where the issue of education comes in. It's a major responsibility of parents and the school to educate children on that. So imagine a 15-year-old is on the internet and seeing things. How is that person expected to know if this is a fraud or not? So until you are educated on knowing the differences between fraud and logical people or good people, you are not going to overcome any circumstances. You're just going to learn from experience after you have gone through that. So I feel like in regards to the cyber part of human trafficking, parents and schools play a major role, including the national police, the Liberia National Police.
Including the Liberia National Police.
Yes.
To play a major role in the issue of human trafficking.
Yeah,
but partly, many times, the issue of people who, the trafficker, they have various techniques and ways how to be able to cajole people, to convince people. And in most of their convincing method, they will always say, don't tell anybody. You as a young student, somebody say, oh, you want to travel down, but don't tell your daddy, oh, we get opportunity, yo. People going to the place here, people going to the country, oh, and they pay you good money. When you go there, they put you on scholarship and this and that. But don't tell your man. They bring no kind of, way at me, because they say in our Liberian setting, when you want to tell somebody, they won't wish you for your love and other things. So how can people like you, in case they kind of scam come to you through and whatever, or other person, how can you be able to manipulate your way through to be able to say, hey, no, this is not something I can be able to do? What you think should be your role? What could be your role? Why will you tell such person, the individual?
I mean, this is actually a scam, because how is it that I'm leaving my country that I was born in, and then you want me to go another place far from my parents, from home, and I cannot share the information? It's definitely a scam. So I suggest that when you get information like that, you rather tell an adult or tell your parents, so that you can know that this is harming you and it's not in any good way going to help you. Because this whole traveling stuff, everybody wants to go out and experience new life out of the country. Yeah, it's nice though, but what if you are going and then the documents are not legal, and then you find yourself in prison for such an act, or because you listen to the person telling you, oh, do not tell anyone. At least you should find somebody to be confident in, like, tell them this and this is happening. And if one person is lacking knowledge, the other person will gain knowledge and impact you with something like that.
So in terms of that, what message in terms of, because the police, we are also there to be able to unearth these things, because information sharing don't have to be related to different people or different kind of persons, in terms of parents or friends or what have you. But the police also, we are there to be able to make sure to be able to prevent these things from happening. So, but one of the factors that causes the aspect is the issue of poverty, peer pressure, all of this stuff. How do people, in terms of escaping, these kind of issues that come or confront you, and looking from the background you have come from. Somebody convince you, say, oh, some of them will give you money. They will say, I will prepare your passport, do this, and I will do everything for you, do X, Y, Z. From the beginning you think that is real, but at the end it's false. So what can you say to that?
Well, because looking at the economical system in the country, it's not stable. It's so hard. There are a lot of people who are living in poverty, so that's granted. But here's the thing. I would suggest the government, the LNP, to look forward to giving out jobs, even if it's not too big. It could be a little thing, then it will help you financially to get your needs, so that people who are in poverty will have what they want to eat, they will have what they want to wear, doing those small jobs that the government will offer. Because if I am lacking something to do, I cannot find myself doing any job that will give me money or whatever. Somebody will bring a flyer to me telling me, oh, this thing, if you work so and so place at this time, you get $10 or $200. I'll be desperate for that, because I need money, of course, and there's no way I can get money without doing something. So this person is actually using me for their own gain, but I'm not aware. So the LNTV or the government should look forward to passing on jobs to people who are maybe limited to jobs.
Idris, why do you think that traffickers target young people? Why do you think?
It's
especially young girls, young women.
As I stated earlier, the minds of children, specifically under the age of 18, their minds are not developed. That's why you see the law says, as long as you are below the age of 18, you are not mature yet. So I've been working a lot with children as a child advocate, and children are easily manipulated. It could be in the wrong way, it could be in the right way, whatever way. They are mostly or easily manipulated, especially the ones that don't have that parental guidance. So you find out that fraud usually goes to children who lack domestic or parental care. Yeah, children who are not experiencing love within their homes, they are easily targeted because if somebody comes and offers to show them love, that person starts to show certain level of affection, they're definitely going to fall for it because they don't have that in their home. And then the youth in general, whether above the age of 18, I would say is the issue of the lack of opportunities. So education is a fundamental right for students or for children, right? But if you don't have that right, if that right is not being executed, or if you don't know your right from your responsibilities, that's where the problem comes in. So somebody now will come and then offer you education. You don't know that education is your right, so you see it as an opportunity, right? You don't have it in your country, so when somebody bring that up, that opportunity to you, you find it to be so big. That's when you start to get so eager to do that and certain things. So now when the person giving you that conditions, you're not focused on it. Your mind is just fixed on going to school. So you don't know your right now. Somebody can come and violate your right by telling you, oh, you are going to be doing this, you're going to be doing that. How can you protect your right when you don't even know it? So it's like ignorance. That's one of the things that affects young people and makes trafficker get attracted to them.
I know some of you have been, I don't know whether you have heard the case, Hamen. You know your Hamen issue?
Yeah.
Hamen, right? See strange people just calling people, students moving on the after school, children coming from school, you just see some car parking. Oh, you can't even get your level. Oh, come in the car, come in the car. What do you think about that? Is that a form of trafficking? And it's a form of issue that can also target students and that may lose, even at the end of the day, lose their life.
Yes.
What do you say about that?
It's actually really common for that scenario. It's actually really common because, as I said, if you find somebody doing things to you that you are not used to, you become attracted to that person.
Of course.
So your parents don't have a car, your parents are not paying your transportation, you don't have money to go home. So definitely, so you become attracted to your person. However, there are some students, especially from my school that I graduated from, that their parents gave them transportation, but students just have their own thing. It's called free car.
Free car.
Yeah. That's one thing my school is popular for. The students, they're always wait for free cars. So I feel like in that case, students should be educated because they think that they are doing it for fun. They think they are doing it to save the money their parents give them. But it could be a risk to them also.
Like you don't know a strange person just park and say, and sometimes they just go, hey, come. And you think that is somebody you don't know the person. It's not safe to just enter in a vehicle. I'm not saying that people cannot get lift, people
can, but not every time. But for my school, I say I've experienced it. It's a normal thing.
Sometimes people get kidnapped, they get trafficked and whatever, It's not common in Liberia at this stage. Well, especially during, in most instances, electionary period time. During election time.
Where people can normally have that mindset of people sacrificing, ritualistic killing and stuff. So in regards to that, I would say the school needs to do awareness, or the parents need to provide guidance to the children, because I feel like that's the only way you can stop that, because it's already used to certain people, it's already used to certain students. They have grown with it and they are still doing it. They feel like it's a way of life.
They feel that it's a way of life. What advice will you have for them, partly, in terms of these kind of issues, especially when it comes to children, students? because your life is precious, you know, you have to be mindful, and, you know, even when you get in a vehicle, make sure that the vehicle is identified, make sure that you get there in a taxi that is well identified, not just in the vehicle, you know, because these things happen at times, and then people get, you know, hooked up in the light, either through trafficking or either through kidnapping.
Yeah.
What can you say about that?
Well, I would like, you know, for the school to give learning or knowledge on the students, to educate them that not all strangers offer you are going to accept. Some will be, okay, genuinely, yes, of course, but then there are people who are there doing it for their own gain. Let's just assume what she was saying, my school, because she graduated from my school. And then we have students who are there running for cars. Okay, yes, they are there. They feel like, we feel like we are saving our money, but then it's harming us because we don't know the person's car that we are getting in. We just get into the car and then they ask, where are you going? We say, Junction, and then we are happy that we got the car and we can save our money. But it's not okay. It's better to know what is harmful to you than to go forward doing it.
So what are some of the common forms of human trafficking that is affecting our country, you think? Those things that you see that are affecting our country?
Like the forced labor,
okay,
the street vending, where you have kids selling around in the streets. I mean, their peers are in school, they are learning, but then you, like, as a person, a big person, you took this child, they say, okay, you can come to my home, I will treat you nicely.
Yeah.
Just because you didn't give birth to that person doesn't mean you can treat them anyhow. We are all human, God made us, so of course, you should love them. But then others will just be like, she came to my house, at least I'm giving her food and clothes, she got shelter, those are her needs. But what about her right? Her right matters. So if you brought this person to your home and then you are not giving them education, you are harming the environment. Yes, it's not right for a child to lack education at all. Because like during our parents' days, they will usually say, what happened those days, I don't want it to happen now, that's why I'm going astray, so that you can go to school, so I want you to focus, because you know, girls or boys, we are all the future of tomorrow. So if you are sending your child to school, you are building your country in a better way.
Wow. Can boys also be a victim of human trafficking?
Absolutely, yeah.
How? Why?
Boys can be used for exploitation,
Okay.
child labor, they can be used for sexual exploitation, and just anything that a girl can be used to do. I feel like a boy can also serve as a victim to that same thing.
Okay.
Because if a child or a girl child is selling, is being forced from her home to come live with somebody else, or probably the person is taking her to another person, it could be for any kind of exploitation, more like forcing somebody for your own gain. So yeah, it works perfectly with boys.
Have you detected any form of human trafficking in your community before? Have you seen or detect or feel or have a symptom on somebody or child?
Well, we don't mostly identify it or call it human trafficking.
How do we call it?
In an advocating term, as I call it, we mostly say child labor.
Child labor.
But then if you go to the roots of it, that's where you can find out that it's actually human trafficking. Because based on the definition of human trafficking, is a forceful exploitation or taking away of somebody either by fraud and other stuff. And then as long as the person does not give their consent about that, and you take them away, whether their parents agree or not, it can be defined as human trafficking.
Okay.
Because during our research, there are certain part of human trafficking that it says the parents play a major role.
Yeah.
Sometimes traffickers ask the parents, and the parents tend to agree. But there are several factors that contribute to that, so we are not ready to go into that day. So yes, I call it child labor, but it can be traced to the root of human trafficking. So it's common in Liberia, but we don't term it as human trafficking.
Yeah.
Because we don't see from the root, we just see the surface of it, and the surface that we see is child labor, where you are sending children into the streets. Yeah.
Okay. Partly, some of it, like you talk about, right? We see it in from different perspective. You understand, but if you look at the issue of child rights, you know, and sometimes the condition in which some children live on. I don't want to be so much, stereotyping. Like in most cases, we get stepmother and stepfather.
Yeah.
And when you see how some children are being treated in the home, mainly by their stepmothers, you know, I have gotten some complaints of such, and we make some arrests and brought the perpetrator to book, you know. So, how can you dichotomize, or how can you differentiate?
Okay.
Sorry,
No, it's
but I know it's true. But how can you differentiate the issue of child rights, human trafficking, you know, because they work in some close bond, because some of the effect of child rights and abuse mostly caused in home by some parents. Many people who are the stepfather in most cases don't have too many issues or whatever. Have you seen such a case of such, where some of the kids are in school and whatever? And what can you say to parents of such?
Well, I wouldn't say I've seen it, but I had a friend who explained himself, you know, by saying he's living in a place where he's not free, things not okay. When he comes to school, he's just cool, quiet. Like others are smiling, but then he's numb. He's just different from the rest. So we'd be like, what's up? Why are you not free with? He said, things not fine at home. Are you living with your real parents? He said, no, things not fine with my parents. So I came on this side. So it's like this, it's like that. Sometimes the kids are not actually explaining the right thing.
Yeah.
Let's just say it that way, because we teenagers or youths, we just want to like relax all the time, be free on phone or doing things of our will, and not getting the discipline. You know, discipline got pains within it. But it's actually okay, because at the end of the day, you're going to enjoy it. But where you will lack discipline is where the suffering comes from.
Okay.
Yeah. So sometimes parents are actually installing discipline within us, but it's a little bit overrated, because you cannot, you know, okay, let's just assume that this person had 2 children. One is their biological children or their biological child, and the other one is, you know, come stay with me or whatever. And then your child is sleeping by 6, you then wake up the other one by 5, telling them to put water on the fire for the others to bathe, telling them to sweep. Those are not relatable.
Okay.
Because God created every one of us. We should love everybody.
Okay.
Despite who they are to you.
Despite who they are.
Yes. When God said love your neighbor as you love yourself, that was something he was replying to. So we should also get that kind of conscience, that kind of lovable mind for everybody, not just the one that maybe family or blood. People will say, family tree can bend, it can't break, there's nothing thicker than blood, all of those things. But the way you would treat people today will determine how good your future will be tomorrow. Imagine I'm a kid and then you treating me bad today. You don't know my future. Yeah. You don't know how I will end up. And then I turn out to be successful, and maybe your child who you were actually protecting from doing all the child labor work, and then she's now in bed all the time. You're always calling her like, get up. She's arguing with you because you didn't install that discipline within her when she was small. So now she feel like we are equal, we are grown up, so I can do whatever I want to do. And now I'm successful, I'm a grown up, you know, achieved person, because I gained education, gained discipline, was willing to take in advices, and now you want to get something from me. It's actually going to be impossible at that moment.
Endurance. You think why you think many kids, adolescent girls, boys are going astray in our society today? Is it because the lack of issue of discipline? She spoke about discipline. Some children don't want to be disciplined. Is it the issue of about the society or the friends that people go around, that people don't want to listen to their parents anymore? What are some of the or are people engaging themselves into different, exposed to different issues around them that causes them not to obey, they want to live above their limits, above their parent limit, that what causing some of them to be trafficked around the world. You think what you think is responsible factor for that?
Okay, I might start with the issue of discipline. So for that part of discipline, I would term it as individuality. So people or children are made individually. They have their individual differences. So a person can try to escape their home because of the lack of discipline, because they are not getting discipline. So they feel like they have it all. They feel like they have arrived. They feel like they can do anything they like because their parents are not disciplining them. Their parents don't have problem. Why in other cases people tend to leave their home or become like spoiled brats, sorry for my expression. Children tend to spoil because there is too much pressure on them. So discipline is good, but the excessive, or I don't know how to term this, but too much of it becomes good for nothing.
So you want the parents to have some leverage, you think?
So yeah.
What do you think when you say leverage?
Discipline isn't only hitting on a child. I keep telling people this as an advocate for children. Hitting on a child is not discipline.
Okay.
It could be a form of discipline, but I don't define that as discipline.
Okay.
There are a lot of ways in which you can discipline your child. Every parent should know what his or her child loves the most. For example, a child will be misbehaving, but the moment you take their phones from them, the moment you start to take certain things from them, you'll find out that they won't be themselves for that day. There's just something a child is addicted to.
Okay.
Everyone has that addiction. It could be your phone, it could be a book, it could be a toy, it could be something that you really love. It could be going out. If you do something that your parents don't want you to do, you say, oh, you are not going out. So there are a lot of ways that you can discipline children.
So should children be disciplined on how to use social media?
Yes.
Because we talk about human trafficking and all kinds of things goes on the social media.
Absolutely.
Do you think that there should be an age limit for kids to hold of Android phone? Do you think?
Yes.
Yeah, let me hear your view from
so
that.
According to the World Health Organization, WHO for short, there was this report or this law from them that the referral age for a child to use a cellular phone or mobile phone should be the age of 15 years.
Okay.
Anything below it should be highly monitored. So they did the law in a way that you can understand it as a parent. If your child is under the age of 15, pardon me, if your child is under the age of 15 years, there are ways that you can monitor their phone. For example, 2 hours a day. So these were some basic examples that World Health Organization gave in their report to parents and their children using Android phone. Because the internet has become both an interesting and dangerous place, as I would say.
Okay.
The internet that you knew back then, where you would come and do your research and then go by, is not the same. You have plenty of people trying to make money now. You have a lot of exploited things on the internet. So by telling your child, I feel like the age to hold a cell phone should be 15 years as stated by World Health Organization. Even as that, as long as you're below the age of 18, just by having a phone at 15, your parents should closely monitor your phone. So let's take an example of the the incident that happened to convent, St. Teresa convent. So imagine if the children didn't learn those songs on the campus itself. He was already performing before they could start singing it, right? So it means that they knew it from their various homes, they knew it from their phones, they knew it from the internet, and just whatever place you think you can learn songs from. So imagine if the parents of those children were monitoring their phones to know that they have such music in their phones, they are listening to such music. You can't just learn of music randomly. You have to take time to learn the lyrics. They didn't learn that song in one day. So I feel like the fault is on parents and school administrators.
Thank you so much, Idris. So we want to take a 2 minutes break, and we're going to come back right back and delve into this. I'm sure that some of you are understanding and getting the lightest of the discussions from these brilliant students here in studio, in Dures and Pat Lane. So 2 minutes, we will come back, and then we go into some of the effect of the discussion with Pat Lane. Thank you. Let me go in the restroom. Okay, welcome back again here on the Community Safety Hours, and today we are discussing the issue of human trafficking, the causes, effect, and the prevention or the preventive measures that we can take from the law enforcement perspective, and also from the family perspective, community perspective. What can we all do to be able to help curtail the act of human trafficking, especially child trafficking students? I mean, young boys, young girls, young women. And today we have two brilliant students, high school students here, discussing these issues with regards to the causes and effect of human trafficking within Liberia and the global village. And they are giving some different dimensions of human trafficking, the causes, the effect, and those issues that are affecting child and women, children, and what have you. So we are here discussing these issues, and then trying to curtail. The issue is about how can we. The police cannot do it all alone. The Liberia National Police cannot do it because human trafficking is an organized crime. Is something that is being organized by people, and they just go about fooling our young people, our young ladies who are venting for opportunity. Not everything that glitter is gold. You can still rent. Some people, they even sold their land, sold their property just to travel, and to say somebody just fool and say don't tell that person, don't tell this person. And these things are causing serious problem. You go in the person country, you go next where they use you as a sex slave, as a child sex slave, and what have you, And these things are affecting. So partly, she was discussing those issues with regards to the issue of child and children issues when it comes to human trafficking issues, those pertinent causes and whatever. And if we look at the child mental health also, how can you think or how can you say about trafficking a child? How does it affect their mental health?
Well, if let's just say I'm a child and then I'm being very, out of space, not free, feeling insecure, so definitely my well-being will not be stable, because my mental health got to do with my well-being, how I see things, how I think of things, and then this whole mental health is gonna be low. Because as a person, you should think high, right? You should know how to think and how to react and how to respond to things. But then with all of this whole child trafficking, the labor, imagine me selling on the street, seeing others studying, I'm not doing the same. It's going to break me down. Self-confidence going to be low.
Okay.
The self-esteem is going to be, it's going to be very low. Like, I'm not able to do this because I'm not doing it. It's not right.
It's not right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, viewers, we are now going to have our telephone or being read on the screen. It's going to be displayed on the screen so that you can be able to call within the next minute. So to call the show, you can call on 0770 800 127, 0770 800 127, or you can better call on the Lone Star 0886 40 57 16, 0886 405716, and we'll be happy to receive your calls, and you tell us from what these young ladies are saying, and then we can be able to have some discussion. Endurance. Now, one of the issues, human trafficking have different model, we understand, and I'm sure that you as an advocate, you know that from that perspective. The issue of sex trafficking on children mainly, that have been used for sex and other purposes, the issue of rape, domestic violence, these are issues that also encompasses in the trade of trafficking among children, among mothers, among women, among children. What can you say about that? Because sometimes these things are being done even at the, I think we okay, no call it. Things can be done at the domestic level where people, children are used for these kind of purposes. What can you say to those kind of effects? And because with the police, the police will not be able to see through. People will see while we are not there to see. Eye for an eye. So we believe that people should be, we will get the awareness as we are doing. We're going around in schools, we're saying these things and whatever. But sometimes the issue of confidentiality, the issue of people being confident to report, I feel ashamed as a kid to come and report, or somebody say, when you report, I will kill you. If you tell the person do this, I will do this to you. And these children are going through some severe stuff with these kind of issues. What can you say about that with regards to such acts?
Well, startup, I would say, for the part of the sex trafficking or where you have sex slave, I haven't really had encounters with that kind of complaints yet in my years of advocating for children.
Do you think because the people are afraid to report, or people feel ashamed, or they are threatened?
That could be a key factor, but I feel like sex trafficking is not on a high rate in Liberia.
Okay.
However, we have the issue of rape. We have the issue of domestic violence.
Okay.
So rape, people are often stigmatized or they are traumatized to report those issues. Now in that case, the families or the schools serve as key factor to unlocking such misery. So as a parent or as a guardian for somebody, you should know that person. You should know, you are not a mind reader or you are not a therapist, but you should know when something is wrong with your child. You should know when something is, you should know how somebody behaves when they are okay. You should know how they behave when they are not okay. So some signs that you can see is constant anxiety for the school part. You'll find out that every time you mention the issue of abuse, people get anxious, or a girl or a boy just start getting so anxious. You see signs of abuse, like they're always shying away from people, they're insecure about many things. So these are observing figures that you can see within children that are being abused. So I feel like the school needs to start providing awareness. In that awareness, children are going to know their rights, because I keep emphasizing on knowing your right. If you know your right, you will know when somebody is trying to violate it. You will know that somebody is not supposed to touch you without your consent. But if you're not educated that your body is yours, you feel like, oh, if I don't do it, they will say, oh, I'm trying to act like Holy Mary, as people can say in our country. So somebody will come touch you, and then the next person will say, And as soon as you give that person a side look, they'll say, are you the first person for you to touch like that? Why you can't act free at times? So if you don't know your right, you'll not be able to stand and say, it's my body, my choice. You feel like you have to follow that pattern because you see other people following it. So I think children understanding their right plays a major role, as well as family in the school, including the Liberia National Police.
Good. Children understanding their rights will also be able to make them know. Yeah, but partly, she talk about even the issue of consent, but from the legal perspective, once you are below the age of 18, whether consent or not, the law say you will be held accountable.
Yeah.
You understand? So if you are below the age of 18 years and then somebody just can't be whatever, say, okay, let's go inside, I will give you this, and then you agree, the law can still hold that person.
Yeah.
But poverty is one of the issues, and you see that that some even guardians or parents who are nurturing their children, you see them even playing out their child to go and do X, Y, Z. What can you say about that, and what is the effect of it have on the child?
It's hard on we as children because, I would say for my country and the society, education and communication with parents, it's very limited.
It's very limited.
Yes.
And you think that could be some of the reasons?
Yes, because
limitation, people don't want to bring out the issue of sexuality among their kids.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I have my parent, and then my parent is not always, asking me about things that I'm doing, giving me the open space to give out myself, to bring out things that I have in mind, to tell me, okay, so what's up with school? And then I say, this boy or my friend and I did. They are always acting straight, want things to be in the right way.
And we are moving to the modern society.
Yes, we are moving there, but then maybe our parents feel like, okay, being straight is actually the right way, but it's give or fight to the person, because you cannot be straight on me and then I cannot find myself free to talk to you. If the guy try to harm me in any way, once I bring this topic up, you be like, why would you say something like that? You doubt me or say something very brutal.
So you are saying partly parents are not giving their children the safe space to be able to explain, to communicate.
Thank you.
So the child feel intimidated, the child feel frightened, the child feel scared.
Yes.
And these things are going on, but how to be able to speak out?
Yeah, there's something called formal and informal education. We cannot always learn everything from school. The home are there, to help us. But then our parents, they just want to be like, you should learn this in school, or even if they are giving us a fact about this thing, they're just going to beat around it. They don't want to get into it so that they feel like, okay, she's not ready yet for it. But what if society brings me to it? And then I'm not even aware about it. This is where the cases of rape is so intimidating, because I don't know about this whole rape thing. I don't know anything about, sexual activity, because my parents are so afraid to bring me up.
To bring you up to speed.
Yes, the communication is not there.
There's a barrier in communication.
Yeah,
they try to hide that aspect.
Yeah, and knowing that society will bring me up to it, society will show me it.
Wow.
You cannot keep my eyes
closed. It's an eye-opener here.
Yeah, you cannot keep my eyes closed. You cannot keep my ears shut. Definitely, I'm going to school. I'm going out.
Partner, let me ask you, who are you free with, your dad and your mom? Who you mostly explain?
So,
who you feel comfortable with?
With my mom.
With your mom?
Yeah, because
the best friend their dad, is it why?
No, I don't know, but maybe it's a little bit confidential. Yeah, because like I said, the communication part. We are not always there to talk. We are not free, so it's just limited.
Do you agree with Patlin?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So one major part is the idea that parents are not providing emotional support.
Okay.
So I must applaud all parents for their hard work. Thanks to you all, we are going to school, we are learning. But I think it's time you guys focus mainly on the emotional support.
Okay.
So people often have this question: I'm feeding you, you are going to school, we have a nanny here doing all the work for the rich people now. What could possibly be bothering you. You don't have
grades are low,
children to
blah, blah,
feed.
blah.
Why aren't you studying? Why are your grades low? Why are you always on your phone? People, a child may not be working, but everyone has their challenges. It could be a mental challenge.
Okay.
People have mental breakdowns. So I think it's about time that parents are educated on the emotional well-being of their children or their mental health,
Okay.
because they are not doing it because they are not educated.
Okay. Thank you so much, Idura.
Yeah.
So we can have some comments now to read, and then we'll come back to wrap it off from the closing comment. Let's see some comments. Okay. We're going to soon be wrapping up. So, Pat Lane, what can students do to protect themselves from trafficking or from trafficker?
Like what I said earlier, accepting strangers' offer is not always the best solution. You cannot be a student and then anybody just walk up to you knowing that you don't know their motive, you don't know what they are intend to do to you, so you just be like, okay, yes. So it's actually something that we as students, we should know that, okay, looking at the case or looking at the situation, I cannot fit in, I cannot force myself, so it's a no. Saying no to certain things, you can prevent yourself, because this person in this gathering, you will not tell me let's go and then I say no, you try to force me. Definitely people will try to get at you. So working together in group, at least maybe it might be in the evening or almost late night or almost in the night, you cannot work alone, because at least when you are together, then people will have that kind of fight like, oh no, there are many, so we cannot get one. It will be so disturbing. And then the school should also provide education on trafficking and its risks, because I mean we are in school, we should know what is going to harm us and what are something that will protect us and something that will harm us. For my school, we have a social worker. So I think every school, like, they should have social worker counseling the people who are vulnerable to those things.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to just read a little bit comment, and then we have our parting comment, and we have a day for today. It has been a nice discussion here today at the LMP. Say, sir, I'm watching live. Also want the establishment of community watching in my community. This is from Courage SD Walker. Thank you, Courage. Let's see. I'm Mercy, Kato following. Thank you, Mercy. I'm watching from FU5. Say, go baby, E.T. This Theodosia Divine.
Oh, yeah.
You know her? Okay.
Yeah.
Let go, Patley. Jocelyn Wilson. Your friends are watching you.
That's my auntie.
Oh, okay. Your auntie are watching, okay? In the case of stepchild children, the women are the ones who don't like to take care of another woman's child.
Exactly.
Children most often. Josephine,
It can be vice versa too, though.
Okay.
There are men who don't like other people's children. I have experienced cases like that. I have friends that their dads don't even like them.
Okay.
So we're speaking about gender equality here.
Yes.
So just put it on the ladies.
Okay. Maybe in most cases. Okay. I'm following from Mura. Thanks to the LMP for this program. Thanks to the Case Institute for speaking so eloquently on this matter. So you have some of these comments.
Thank you so much.
We can hear from your party comments, endurance, and what do you have to say? What recommendation do you have for the Liberia National Police, and what can you say to the parents and society as a whole?
Hello again. If you're watching, I'm Endurance Times, the current speaker of Children Voices and a graduate of the Christ the King Catholic High School. It's truly an honor to be here again. It was truly an honor to be here for the second time. I really appreciate the fact that I'm given the opportunity to speak to parents, my fellow students, and just my peers in general. So I would say the issue of human trafficking is very crucial in Liberia, and it's underestimated. I think it's about time that parents start start knowing your children, start supporting them emotionally, and just in basic ways that they need. And then traffickers, to every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. I love that quote. I'm not going to let it go. So you should know that what you are doing, there are consequences. To the Liberia National Police and the government, I feel like you guys need to start taking crucial punishment or strategic punishment against, or strengthening laws that will eradicate traffickers. So if you make a law that will
Hard punishment.
hard punishment. If you make a law that will eradicate the first trafficker, there are other people wanting to do the same thing. From the response of the police or the response of the government, they are either going to continue with their plans or they're going to step back. So it's about time that we value the opinions of children and we start listening to them. Thank you.
Madeline?
Yeah.
Your parting comment. Madeline and her parting comment.
So I'm very honored to be here. I firstly want to say thank you to the person who brought me here, Brother Joe. He did extremely well, and I want to say I'm grateful to God first because it was God. I've always been wanting to be on show like this.
Wow.
Yes, this is something that I really love doing, and I have my friend who encouraged me in class. She was already a part of this thing. She should be like, you can go, so I will, recommend you, and she did.
Nice.
So yesterday I was on campus and I got the news like, I want you to, get ready tomorrow and you're going for the show. I was super excited, so I want to be grateful to God and to the people around, supporting. And also I want to say something to the parents, to the guardians. It's not right that you push the child off guard. You are guiding them, you are the guidelines, but then you should limit it because when you be so strict, you are sending them off. Seriously, you're not going to be too perfect because we are not perfect. Everybody, have their flaws and things. Our parents were once our kids, so they should understand there are certain struggles. Even though maybe they never had that time with their parents to talk to them, they will say, the way my mom treats you, that how I will treat you. We can beat people, those things.
Yeah.
But as time goes by, this is modern world, things are getting advanced. So you should relate to certain things because we are kids, we have emotions, we are human now. You should understand us. And so the LNP, they are doing extremely well.
Thank you.
They are doing extremely well by, bringing us here, exploring, impacting knowledge of what we know to others. Because there are people around, they don't have knowledge on what we just said, So by doing these things, it will actually bring people who are not educated to it. It will just I'm watching this and then I already have idea on it. So nobody is going to, get me and do anything harmful. I will know my right. I will stand on it because LNP is going to help me. They are going to back me up. They are going to secure my rights and future, everything. So community people, let's watch out for the trafficking in the community. Any suspicious act, report it to the LNP or to the government. You can have maybe chairman in the community who will be working with the government. Let's do something to limit this trafficking. Thank you.
Okay, you have it there. Today we come out with the show, the Community Safety Hour, and we have been discussing human trafficking, the causes, effect, and the prevention from our young, beautiful scholars here in studio. Thank you for now, Baba. We'll see you next Wednesday and Friday, where we'll have another edition of another brand new topic on the discussion. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.